Isang Himala is now showing in cinemas, so here's my review of Isang Himala. Isang Himala is the first movie I saw from this year's list of Metro Manila Film Fest entries, and I'm telling you right now, every other film I watch next will have a tough act to follow because this movie was really good. Isang Himala follows Elsa, played by Aicelle Santos, a simple woman from the province who becomes a religious figure in her small town after claiming she saw the Virgin Mary during an eclipse. This movie also serves as a retelling of the classic Filipino movie Himala and an adaptation of the musical play of the same name. It's been 41 years since the original Himala, and the story and its themes of religion and fanaticism are still relevant as ever. And Isang Himala does a really beautiful job of reintroducing this legendary story to the younger generation who probably hasn't seen the original in a brand new and fresh way. Aicelle Santos does a spectacular job of portraying Elsa, a role of course that was made famous by Nora, and I think she does a really great job of honoring this character's legacy while also making it her own. I truly think she deserves to be in the running for this year's Best Actress because her performance in this movie was truly gut-wrenching and powerful. There were a couple scenes in here that were tough to watch, and I think that uncomfortable feeling was enhanced by her amazing performance, especially during the more emotional scenes. Which, by the way, just a fair trigger warning for anyone thinking of watching this movie. In case you haven't seen the original or you didn't know, this movie does deal with very touchy subject matters like SA, so do be cautious. It's not super graphic, but they do tackle these possibly trigger-inducing topics. So if you want to bring family and friends with you, do be sure that they're made aware of what this movie will be tackling. It is rated PG, so you can technically bring kids to this movie as long as they have an adult accompanying them. But if you do, make sure they're old enough to be able to handle or discuss topics like this. Anyway, back to the review. This movie was visually stunning, lots of colorful and great imagery in this film, and not to mention, the sets in this movie were jaw-dropping. I actually got the chance to visit their set a couple of months ago, and if you didn't know, all of this movie was shot inside a studio in the sets they built. And these sets were truly immersive. Having seen the original, seeing those Elsa loves you signs made me feel like I just got transported inside the movie. So I hope that this movie's use of practical sets sets up a new standard going forward for set designing here in the Philippines. Because this movie truly looks spectacular. Now, in case you didn't know, this movie is a musical, and the musical numbers in this movie were so beautiful. Everyone in the cast does an amazing job singing and performing these numbers, and the visuals during these musical numbers were stunning and has great use of color and lighting. Now, in case you've never heard the most iconic line from the original movie, don't worry, I won't spoil it for you because that one line kinda spoils the movie's biggest reveal. But to keep it vague, that iconic line is in this movie, and their interpretation and execution of this iconic moment was truly goosebumps-inducing. Honestly, the third act in general was goosebumps-inducing. Overall, I'd say this movie was definitely one of the best from this year's Metro Manila Film Fest. And I think Direk Pepe Jokno is 2 for 2 because he directed last year's Gamburza, which was amazing, and now he's got yet another amazing entry with Isang Himala. So if you're going to spend money and watch anything from this year's Film Fest, be sure to catch Isang Himala and tell people about it too, because only 9 cinemas are playing this movie, and that is absolutely crazy to me. More people need to be talking about this movie.